What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Upper Left RC. Today we are going to work on the Carisma MSA-1E. Some people don't like bouncy shocks. I actually don't mind them. I think it looks kind of cool rolling around, bouncing around, but there is such thing as too much bounce even if you're into it. So we're going to take a look at these guys. Oil Filled Shocks. See them in there. Carisma Scale Adventure Original Parts MSA-1E Aluminum Oil Shock Set. Here's the part number. Lost it. There we go. So we're gonna bust this open, take a look at them, see if they're any good, throw them on this thing, see if it makes a difference. I don't know if these will fit any truck I have. Be kind of cool if they did. I might have to try them on some other trucks, but for today we're working on this thing. So let's get right into it. We're gonna tear this body off. Whew. All right, and if you haven't seen it, this is the body we painted with the world's darkest paint, or one of the world's darkest paint. It's not that dark at all. It's had plenty of time to dry. And as you can see on camera, there are plenty of other things in the background here that are blacker than this paint. But it was a fun little project. If you like seeing people struggle, you can go check out that video. Today, we're working on the truck. Let me get my tools real quick, get all set up, and we'll tear into it. All right, got my tools handy, ready to go. First things first, let's tear into this and take a look. We don't need any stinking instructions. We'll take a gander at them though. Oh, good. Not included. Didn't see that part. Well, we're gonna put these things together anyways, and I'll buy some oil. What is that? 25 weight. Yeah, we'll get these all put together, put them on the truck, see how it performs without oil in it, and then I'll buy some of this and we will follow up with some oil. How's that sound? Okay, what do we got here? So we got the actual shocks, some springs. Looks like only one set of springs. They look like they're going to be pretty firm. Yeah, it's hard to tell when they're all stacked. Some little washers, some of these little guys, and some screws to mount them. And looking at this, those screws, if that's what they use to mount them, that's a little bit different than what's already on here. But that's enough talking. I'm just going to get this thing taken apart. We'll figure it out as we go. Well, I will say they are, they're much nicer than the plastic ones. Definitely excited to try them out, but I'm also curious how this thing holds oil. Oh, it's got fully adjustable dampeners. That's kind of cool, or whatever you call those. Adjustable to make the suspension tighter. And if you look at that, those holes right there on either side of this thing look like they're probably going to allow this thing to leak a little, but what do I know? I didn't design it. Let's take a look inside. I don't know. I don't know how thick 25 weight is. Maybe that's pretty thick or decently thick, enough to where it's not going to leak out. But, I mean, as you can see, there's a little bit of play in this. It's not completely airtight around the inside of that shaft right there. So, oil might leak out over time. I don't know. But, how do I get the... Maybe, yep, this. Okay. So, let's get the springs on this thing. Before I do that, I should probably make sure it was tight. Yeah. Okay. All right, now that I got those super tiny little washers out of that package, that was a nightmare. I realized I already made a mistake. Surprise, surprise. So, those little washers, if I would have actually read the instructions, I held them right up to camera and didn't even look at them. These tiny little washers right here actually are what keep the oil inside the shock. And so, rather than put these together and then take them back apart to put oil in them, I'm just going to build them correctly, and we'll worry about the oil part later. Apparently I need to take this apart, send this all the way through. Oop, take that little cap off. These things are so tiny, I'm going to lose them. Whew. Okay. So get that tiny little washer on there. And then this goes back on, and we pretend to look like we know what we're doing now. That's much smoother already with quite a bit of resistance. So that's definitely helping on that thing. And then let me take a look at the instructions. The other one goes in the lid. Okay, so now that we got that together, let's put this whole thing back together. It's been a long day, guys. I don't know what to tell you. It's been a long day. Okay. That feels better already. And then this goes around the top like so. It also says to mount all these and put them all together with thread lock, so I don't have any of that. So that's going to be that. I'm going to get the rest of these put together, and we'll figure out all this stuff. I imagine it's going to be pretty easy. Slide it in like that, screw through there, into the frame, on the truck. But I'm definitely going to read the directions before I do it. Otherwise, I'll probably make another mistake. So I'll be right back. Okay, we got the new shocks on. Also, quick gripe. These shocks, these little inside pieces that go in the hole that let it float around like this, if they were just already stuck inside, that'd be really cool, like these are, because it was kind of a pain getting that on, trying to keep it in this, lined up straight to get that screw in there. Also, I'm sure you saw, front has some bounce still, probably about the same as these, I would say. But I noticed when I assembled the shocks, two of them were a little stiffer. The rear ones, if you couldn't guess. So it comes back slowly. And these ones come right back. I don't know. I put them on the rear. I just wanted to make sure that both shocks, because there were two that were really stiff, two that weren't, I wanted to make sure they were either both on the front or on the rear. So I decided to go with the rear. I think when I get some oil in there, it's going to loosen up those little tiny washers, or those little pieces of rubber in there, the gaskets. Smooth them out, and this will have some good rebound, and it might actually make this less bouncy too, because When I was putting them on these two, they were real tight, but I think it's going to be fine either way. Yeah, should be fine. Really liking this new Velcro I got. Really holds it on there. Good and solid. So the back definitely isn't bouncy like it used to be. It also just kind of does a mean lean squat when you pop it down. The front, it's not as bouncy. It's still definitely bouncy, but I'm really excited to get some oil in these. So I say we go take it for a little test run, see how it does, and then I will do a second follow-up video where I actually put oil in them and then drive it around, see if we can notice a difference. Yeah, and then I might even try and mount these to something else. But the problem is the threads on these screws and the ones that are in these are really wide. They're much bigger than most of my other trucks. So they might only fit on this truck, but da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Squat. Okay, let's go take it for a drive. Alright guys, well there it is. That's the oil-filled shocks without oil. Like I said, we'll definitely come back to this. I've got some oil on the way now. Yeah, I noticed when I was climbing at one point over on one of the courses, the shock had fully compressed. It still got really good articulation, but one of the front shocks had fully compressed and then kind of got stuck there as it was climbing. So the wheel kept lifting in the air, and it eventually popped back on its own, but it did get stuck for a second with one of the wheels up in the wheel arch like that. I think with oil, these things are going to function great. I do like how smooth the rear rises. It needs to go much faster, obviously, but I do like that smooth flow of you know, the weight being distributed evenly as it moves around. So I'm really excited for these. I can't wait to get some oil in them. They're already better than these even without oil, just because these are so bouncy and springy. I mean, they're pretty rough. But again, you know, it's fun when the body's bouncing around when you're climbing. I guess it all depends on your style. If you're going slow enough, these are fine. If you're going decently fast over some rocks or bouncy stuff, it definitely looks off when the body's just bouncing and shaking all over the place. But yeah, they're pretty cool. Again, these are the Carisma. These are actually like the Carisma brand, which is the same as the truck itself. Part number 16087. Oil-filled shocks. All right. Yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again for watching.